I'm about to hitchhike from Wyoming to Iowa for my book signing and to see a friend. Nomadic Moonlight is my book I put out this year, so gonna go to Jackson Street Brewery and meet some cool people. Catch up with my friend. I got about 900 miles to hitchhike, so let's get going. Not too shabby. 3 rides so far. I quickly got an amazing ride from a guy who was going all the way across the country to Massachusetts. So I rode with him into the night. At some point we pulled over and camped next to his truck. And by the next day, I was in Iowa. About 24 hours is all it took to go 900 miles. I met up with my friend Liz, had some good times, and we eventually headed to Jackson Street Brewery to share my books, and more importantly, meet the owner and drink some delicious beers. So here we go. Thanks for having me here.
Our pleasure.
And
Come by.
if you want to introduce yourself to any camera you feel like you're looking at.
Yeah, my name is David Winslow. I'm the president and I guess the brewer for Jackson Street Brewing. I'm from born in St. Paul, Minnesota, neighboring state to the north.
Awesome. And I heard you were a meteorologist.
Yep.
For some time.
Yeah, I was interested in weather as a kid. I had severe weather, and especially tornadoes and hail, just all that stuff. So interested in science, nature has always been kind of my thing. So I got a degree in meteorology, and I moved to Sioux City in 2004 when I was just out of college. The summer I graduated from college, St. Cloud State, Minnesota, and was here for 6 years doing meteorology. My wife had a TV station, she was a reporter, and then did that for 6 years. Wanted to do something different, get more time to have fun. So I was a teacher, so a lot of it was, my parents are teachers and a lot of the family was, but did that for 6 years so I could have travel and have the summers off and stuff, and it wasn't a good fit for me, so we started puttering around in the kitchen and the garage, brewing beer, making wine. We always grown a big garden, growing and foraging fruits for wine at first, and then we started making beer because it's more consistent. It's really hard to make really good wine when you're using Iowa, grapes and stuff, in my opinion.
Random ingredients.
Random ingredients.
Like, different every time.
Yeah, and you have to use a lot of what they call it, sulfates in order to, and I didn't like doing that, so the stuff would get oxidized after a year.
Yeah.
Beer,
so switch to
you
beer.
drink quicker. Yeah, you can make it quicker. You can, and it stores better. The grain and the barley, unlike fruit, you gotta freeze it.
Yeah, more consistent.
More consistent. You make it all the time.
So which beer should I start with here? Just closest to me?
Yeah, kind of start. So we started our brewery with only like 8 beers on tap, and it was like 10 gallons of each beer, like homebrewed beer. And then a couple years ago, we added this side. This is an expansion side, and then we were able to almost double our tap list. Actually,
Nice.
yeah, pretty much double, so it's 19.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good number. Sometimes it's too much.
Yeah.
It's very never not enough, But sometimes there's times where it's like, it's too many beers to have so much of each. But so the first one we have there is called All Ride. You happen to come during Raid Ride, biggest
perfect.
bike ride in the whole world.
Bike raid, it is kind of like a raid on each little.
It is.
Little
Yeah,
town.
it's a raid. Yeah, hopefully for beer. They raided us for some beer.
Yeah.
So it's just like actually a rice pilsner. So it's made with some flaked rice, and then German hops called Hallertau Mittelfrüh. So it's like the region. I think it's a Hallertau region, and the specific variety I think is Mittelfrüh. It's kind of gentle, and they call it herbal and a little bit spicy, but
Yeah, it's
has
a little bit fruity,
finish too.
a little sweet.
A little sweet from the rice, I think.
That's nice. So this was a collaboration with like all the breweries around. Am I right on that? Marto,
That's what I'm
Jefferson.
drinking.
Okay. So
Yeah,
This is
yeah. You're having the one it's Prairie Huff is like our attorney office, and they had a big party. So it's like a collab with them.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll pour you some of the first ride, which is a collab with all the logos. There's not that there's not a ton of breweries. When we started, we were the first one within an hour and a half. Now,
Really?
I think we collaborated with 5 other breweries that are now within like 30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, we went up to Jefferson the other day. I've been to Marto, and then we went to a show in Brew City, Marty's.
Oh, did you go on
Tavern.
Saturday night?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was Saturday
Yeah.
night. Yeah.
They got a nice patio in the back.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a good show too.
It's the nicest dive brewery around.
Yeah.
That's what they call it.
It's one of the best dive breweries I think I've ever been to.
I would believe it. Yeah, they didn't start out as a brewery. You can tell they started out as just like a local neighborhood bar, kind of thing.
And I haven't been to Wise, which is up
Wise Island Mars.
Yeah, but I had some of it at the festival next door here on Saturday.
Yeah, I taught in the Mars for 6 years, and they're the only brewery up there right now, and making some good beer too.
You taught up there?
Yep. It's the ice cream capital of the world.
Ice cream capital of the world?
Worked at it's called it's self-proclaimed, but they Blue Bunny is what it's called. I think they have another place in Utah, I believe.
Okay. Ice cream capital of the world.
But it's just self-proclaimed. It might be true, but
yeah. I mean, anyone can call themselves that. Who's gonna? I don't know. You gotta have a competition or something.
I guess. I don't know. But now the rules are weird for what actually ice cream is. So if you're using thickeners and things like that, it's not. It's more of a frozen milk dessert or whatever, dairy dessert, or to make real ice cream, you have to have certain ingredients. So that could be disputed. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Do you ever have a stout float before?
We used to do them. Yeah. The last one was a rye whiskey aged. No, it's a wheated bourbon whiskey aged stout. We used to do that with our coconut stout all the time. So it actually is a coconut stout. Nice. Yeah, it's fantastic. I'd like to do it again down the road.
I'm excited for this stout. That's my favorite.
Oh,
in
a
vacuum, like a barrel aged imperial stout. That's my chosen beer.
Still, huh?
Yeah.
You haven't burned out on it?
No, it can be 102 degrees out, and I'm just like, if I see that on a menu, it's basically an automatic order. There's like a few hops that I like, or where I see, or certain styles of beer, but an imperial stout, I'm just like, yeah.
I mean, I like it too. I just don't like, I don't like a large quantity before bed anymore. I've noticed as I've gotten older, like, if you don't metabolize it before you go to bed, you feel it the next day.
Yeah. Well, that's a good amount for something.
That's 5-10 ounces.
Yeah,
then you're fine. But
you're not
drinking a
pints
bomber.
Of it. Yeah, a bomber to yourself. You pop it open, and everyone's like, "Nah, I'm not feeling it," and you're like committed to 22 ounces.
I use a wine stopper sometimes.
Yeah, it's a good call. Mm-hmm. So what's this next one we got down the board?
The second one we have there is. I don't even remember what I poured. That's how sleepy I am. I'm tired. I'm out of it. So I think I believe that one's a lager too. I think I poured 2 lagers. We make a lot of lagers. We started out making hardly any.
Yeah.
So we didn't have like the temperature control down very well, but we've expanded to. What the heck is that? Is it hoppy or light?
Might be smoked.
Yes. Okay. So that's a smoked
good.
Helles.
That is good.
See, my wheelhouse for beers is smoked beers. I love it, but I can't have them all the time because then your palate gets fatigued. But it's a Helles, so it's made of German smoked malt from Bamberg, Germany, and then the German hops. We make it a little higher in alcohol, 6%, so that it ages a long time. Because you're not going to sell a smoked beer out in a month or two. It's going to take 5 or 6 months because it's this niche.
This is really good though. I could tell it was smoked right away, but it's got that sweetness and it's not like overly crazy smoked, which I still enjoy too.
It's a good moderate.
It's right in
smoke.
The sweet spot.
And we actually have 3 smoked beers right now.
Do you?
My wife doesn't like that.
I'll be trying the other 2 before I go. I love smoked beers. You don't see them too often, probably because they don't sell.
We've got a Rausch beer, like a red, like a Marzen, smoked Marzen. It's a little higher, closer to 7%. That ages for like more over a year. It's fine. And then we also did have you heard of Grodziskie?
Yeah.
That's like the Polish, like a Polish 3% smoked wheat. It's supposed to have a lot of wheat.
Yeah.
We have one it's on tap, but it'll be on tap once one of the other smoked beers goes away.
Okay.
Just love them. Have you heard smoked porters?
Yeah. Again, you don't see them too often.
Acrid and smoky. It's just like, I love it.
It is delicious. It's too bad it doesn't sell more. There are a few styles that I like that just don't fly off the shelves, so to speak, but when I see them, I'm just like, yeah, I'm getting it.
Yes.
That's why I liked looking at your tap list, because it was just like, wow, like most of that I need to try. It's not like when I go to a brewery, do you know who Action Bronson is? Action Bronson. You know Action Bronson? He's a hip hop artist out of Brooklyn, but he had a food show. And on his food show, he would go to a place and just order the whole menu. And he has this quote that I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, "It's rude not to order everything." And that's how I feel about certain breweries.
Really?
Because I look at the list and it's
Wow.
like that, like, yeah.
Should ask for like, should have an option that's like half flight, like 2.5 ounces of each beer.
Oh,
and you
yeah.
can try all of them. But I mean, not all at once, because then they get too warm, you know. But
Yeah, that's the thing. If it was like an ounce, I've been to some breweries. I know for sure I've had 15,
at once.
and I think one place was more than that. I think the 15 was just more like because it was one long board. But I've also been to places that have like a big circle board, like this big. And I don't know, that might have been more than 15.
Yeah, down in Omaha, there's upstream. They do 12, and my wife and I were like, this is too many. It'd be fine if it was just you got half of it, and then you had the other half.
They bring in the other half.
They get kind of warm.
Yeah,
by the time.
and if you're out on a patio or something in
Yeah.
the sun, then it's like really.
Especially if it's lagers. Since we make a lot of lagers now, I understand cold beer. Cold beer tastes good. It used to only make ale, so it's fine if it would be a little bit warmer, 50, 55, but now it's like we actually ice glasses now for those Pilsner styles in the summer. Just because the glass is too warm. Otherwise, we keep our temperature like mid-70s. We don't have it ice cold in here.
What do we got here? The colorful one in the middle.
So it's a blackberry rhubarb
Oh, all right.
beer. So rhubarb in the Midwest is, they call it pie plant. You know rhubarb at all?
I've had some rhubarb beers and a rhubarb pie.
You've had a pie? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just the stem. It's like a plant that has a really tough rhizome or root structure, and they cut it, and then they separate them in April, and they give them to their friends. And we still own about 2.5 acres of orchard where we have fruit trees and rhubarb and stuff like that. We're currently selling it because it's too much.
So this is your rhubarb.
A lot of it is ours. We got some from Jefferson. They gave us some because our plants it's been in drought the last 3 years or so they're just not real big.
I had the rhubarb beer at
Rhubarb
Jefferson
crisp.
on Friday.
Yeah, we have some in the fridge that we're gonna put on tap again too. But people
their
like rhubarb.
Yeah. Now this is nice, and the carbonation is just perfect. It complements it, like gives it a nice little sizzle, brings out the
So
freshness.
it's blackberry rhubarb. It's supposed to have vanilla. I never got around to the vanilla. And the lactose, I only added a little bit of lactose because I forgot to put it when I was supposed to.
Well, it might be for the best. Some people appreciate the thicker, like smoothie kind of style, but
it's not too thin. It fermented, so there's still some sugar left. So that was.
I know it's got a good body to it.
It was okay. Yeah. I thought so too.
You've brewed this before, or this was the first time?
Second time, but it wasn't as good last time. This is better. I knew to do different.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get experience.
That's cool. You've traveled a bunch when you were a teacher, maybe? Like you had the summers off?
Yeah, we did some traveling.
Yeah.
My wife and I, before we had kids, we waited till we were in our mid-30s to have kids, so we could do some traveling and stuff. We weren't sure we were gonna have kids, but yeah, we went to. Never went to Germany. She's been there.
Yeah.
But we went to we flew into Iceland. Iceland air is cheap, so.
Yeah.
We went to, where we landed. Our first day was, I think it was in Italy. We went to Rome, went to Tuscany, and then we went to Barcelona and spent some time. She had a friend from college that was staying in Barcelona, so we got to stay at their place.
Oh, nice.
So that's our Europe experience.
Yeah.
Kids and that.
Did you do any like beer tourism while you were over there? Barcelona's got.
We were into cider at the time.
Oh, okay.
It was a long time ago. It was a while ago. We were into hard cider. I don't even think we were even homebrewing at the time. Not even really. We were making our own hard cider. We make our own hard cider here, but like sidra, that's how they say cider over there.
Yeah.
They pour it from the really high up, and then since it's not really carbonated very well, it has to cascade down, and then it froths a little bit. That was a cool experience, though.
The appearance of carbonation, kind of. It's cool.
Yeah, there were some really cool experiences. More like food experiences.
Yeah, all the tapas and things like that.
Yeah, we were all about the tapas.
Yeah.
Just trying to learn, and then you order wine, and then you get the little finger foods, and just the way they talk in Barcelona is really funny.
Yeah, almost like they have
Barcelona.
Exactly.
You've been there too?
Yeah. I liked all those spots. I'm forgetting what they kind of call them, but you go in there and you basically get unlimited appetizers.
Oh.
And you're just like snacking constantly. And
We didn't get to do that.
yeah, I forget what they call it. It's popular in Madrid and all of Spain. But just go in there and you pay like a flat fee, and it's some of them were different. Some was more like buffet-ish, and then some they'd like come over and just slap random small dishes down, like cheese things, and you just chow down, and they keep bringing you beer and stuff, like
Cool.
just light little pilsners, and pretty good. And as a traveler, everyone from like whatever hostel would be over there and like just chowing down.
Nice.
Pretty good.
I like we were really into the wine too. I like red wines a lot, and
Yeah, you can
we
get
had some cheap. It was so
cheap wine.
It was so
Yeah.
affordable. Like,
Yeah.
we were in France too, in Paris, and wine was like cheaper than water.
Yeah,
Cheaper than bottled water. It was crazy.
it's wild.
Yeah, we had a Bordeaux or whatever, or I don't know what the popular wine there is, but like in Italy we had the fell in love with like really quick wood-fired pizza, you know,
Oh yeah.
there. And then what was the wine? Toscana wine or something like that. It's Tuscany grapes.
Yeah.
It's like a Chianti, I think.
Yeah.
Similar, but it's like their house wine.
Delicious though.
Yeah, but beer wasn't. I don't think it had really taken off quite yet in Italy. Not then, but I know they have a craft beer scene now.
It's starting to get bigger in Spain and Italy. Hitchhiking to Barcelona, I can't believe it, but I got picked up by a brewer. And he was telling me that he makes a trip to the United States either for a week or two every year, like for beer. It's like a beercation, yeah. So he comes and he tries to meet brewers if he can, but if not, just to walk in and just be like, oh, this is what they're doing. Hazy IPAs, that's what's up. Like,
Wow.
So he kind of it's like a work trip in a way. Fun work trip.
cool.
Yeah.
I wonder what he thinks when he comes in and sees all like the smoothie sours, all the weird stuff that brewers
Yeah.
have put in, and I wonder what he thinks.
This
about
particular guy was lapping it all up. To him, it was just education. He's just like, all right, this is what's coming down
it. Wow.
the line, because things are a little slower there. So almost in his head, he's like, in 3 or 4 years, I'll be doing that. Like, I've got time to think about it until then, or I can start doing it now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I read about
was like-
European brewers and how they're like their philosophy. Not all of them, but their philosophy is like more my philosophy now, or after doing this for a long, is like, does this beer pair well with food? Can you drink it with? Can you not just have it by itself? When you look at American beer, it's like so much flavor. Not some of it's too much flavor. Like you can't have food with it. It's more of like, this is it.
Like a muffin or something.
Yeah, like the blueberry muffin
Yeah.
sours and stuff.
Traveling through Germany, totally different. That's more on par with what you're talking about.
Yes.
Like, people are just
and,
like that.
And Italy too. Some of the
Yeah.
Italians, the way like since food is so important, they focus the beer has to complement the food.
Yeah, yeah.
Quench your thirst, and you want to have more after you drink it, and not just enough bitterness. Like, oh, I want some more. I want some more. It's a little bitter right here. I need some more. You know.
Milkshake IPA is just like an absolute joke.
Yes, that's what I would. Yeah, I mean, I know that they're fun to try and whatnot, but Europeans, I would imagine they would just be like, "What are you guys thinking?"
Yeah, but everywhere is different. Czech Republic, I feel like, is a little bit more experimental.
Really?
The Netherlands, they'll do a little bit more.
They
France
do a lot
is-
of high alcohol, or some of them do that. Some of that high alcohol stuff.
Yeah. Well, they're close to Belgium, and Belgium's been making 10, 11% kind of beers. The quads, the tripels for centuries, I guess.
Yeah,
So it's kind
you're
of
right.
normal right there.
That's good stuff, but it's just beer and maybe a few herbs.
Yeah. There's nothing.
not-
There's no
not other-
lactose or.
Yeah.
Well, they have candy sugar in some of them, but that's about
Yeah,
the extent
it's
of it.
nothing.
Yeah.
It's simple stuff, which you see more Americans doing, going back to some of that, which is cool.
Yeah. It's nice. What do we got?
It's called Taco Ride. That's a
Taco
collab
Ride.
with the bike shop, a local bike shop, and then Jefferson Beer Supply. So Jefferson, you have a bike ride that starts in North Sioux. It's like 20 miles, and you go up to Jefferson. You used to stop for tacos on the way. That's why it's called Taco Ride.
Oh, nice.
There's no tacos in the beer.
No tacos in the beer?
No.
No hints of cumin or ground beef?
No. No cumin in there and all that.
Yeah, no, it's just a pretty delicious, almost sessionable hazy IPA.
Yeah.
Was this like 6-ish% or?
It's supposed to be 4.5. But that
4.5?
one's like closer to 5, but
Okay.
brewer air.
No, that's pretty
It's an
tasty.
easy drinker. It's one of our one of our favorite summer beers, but we just make it in the summer
Okay.
a couple times. Maybe the spring and one more batch in the summer.
And they have it up at Jefferson too?
She buys them from a distributor that we sell through. She has it sometimes.
Yeah.
I was like, why don't you just, since the bike ride is a South Dakota thing, because we're in Iowa.
Yeah.
Why don't you just take that beer and I'll make a different bike beer? She's like, no, you keep making it. Because the bike ride doesn't even start in Sioux City. It starts in North Sioux, which is just in South Dakota.
Oh, yeah.
It goes up to Jefferson, where they are, and then back to the same point. So it's like, should be your beer. We made it before they opened. Like, it was like an idea to get the word out about their brewery
Oh, yeah.
before they opened.
Yeah. It's a fun brewery up there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's more of a community, community presence type thing, and it's a totally different ball game being in a town of 500 people when there's I think there's 2 bars. There's Bud's bar, and then there's their place.
It's wild.
So you got to get everybody. you
Yeah.
know, and then you'll be successful. They've been pretty successful, I think. So.
Yeah, seems like they're doing good, and they were helping out around here for the
Yes.
festival
Yeah.
and stuff.
Oh yeah, big
Seem-
time.
Yeah,
Huge help.
seemed pretty cool that everybody's. I say it every single episode, every single time I'm at a brewery, but like it always just it doesn't amaze me anymore. But I'm just like in love with the fact that breweries tend to help each other out in towns like that, and just to see them and you guys and
Yeah.
everybody here.
We
the other
carry their
guys.
beer, actually. We're their Iowa distributor.
Oh,
So we
nice.
go pick it up, and then we put it in our cold room or deliver it directly.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah.
we
Can't help
we
any
have-
more than that.
Yeah, we have to be looking out for each other.
Hell yeah.
It's cool.
So what do we got here? Number 5.
We make a beer. We wanted to call it like something with Lewis and Clark, because the Missouri River is a Lewis and Clark, story behind it. But we decided we called it the Keel Boat. We used keel boat in the name. It's keeling it, like
Okay.
keeling it. You're using a keel boat exploration IPA, since they use a keel boat to explore the Missouri River. That's how Sergeant Floyd started the journey, and then he like me had his appendix burst actually in Sioux City. He
Yours
died.
didn't burst, right?
Didn't burst. It probably would have, but that's how he died.
Jeez.
But yeah, his reputation still precedes him. So
Oh yeah. This
I
is
don't know if he went all the way and then died when he was here, or if it was on the way and then he died. I'm not sure.
well, this is bursting with flavor.
It's got a lot of different hops. That one's like all the hops that we need to use since we have
Okay,
them.
like the kitchen sink.
Yeah,
hazy.
it has the ones it's supposed to have, but it has a few extras too.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah, it's got a lot of local hops too. Have you heard of Comet before?
I've heard a comment that's from around here.
That one is local. I think I got it from. There's a guy who used to have hop vines up by Inwood, and then he's a nurse. He's pretty busy, so he pulled them out. His wife didn't want them anymore, but we bought all this stuff his last harvest. So it's from 2021, his crop. And then there's another place in Nebraska that he's still doing it, going pretty strong. We'll buy 50 pounds a year from him, something like that.
Oh, nice. No, yeah, this is like pretty perfect for a hazy. It's got the body. It's the smell right away is good, and then it lingers for a while. It kind of coats the tongue, and some.
I know a lot of them
carbonation's
have more of like they leave your mouth like kind of that dry puckering effect, from the dry hop.
Yeah.
We like hazy IPAs, but my wife and I are more into like the more mellow ones that
Yeah.
aren't too crazy on the thickness, and then the bite from that that green bite from the dry hop.
Yeah.
So that's
It's not like milk thickness. It's
No.
it's kind of perfect. It's what I like too. This is
me
like,
too. Yeah. Some people like even more aggressive, which is fine. Because everybody's different,
Yeah. My buddy's from Sacramento, so I get there, and I would almost call it the hazy capital
Yeah.
of the world. Like
Sacramento.
the amount of hazy IPAs there. So you can get the ones that are just like super pulpy orange juice kind of like, and if you like that, they go extreme.
Yeah, they probably use 2 or 3. We use a lot of hops. I mean, it's a lot, but they probably use 2 times as much as we do, or 3 times, which is to me is insane.
Yeah.
You're already putting a whole, you're putting a couple big 11-pound bags of hops in a
Oats
fermenter.
and lactose and
We don't use lactose, but we use some. Yeah, we use some oats and some wheat,
Yeah.
like wheat and stuff.
yeah, that's kind of part of the style.
Yeah.
But I've been to some breweries there. Well, there's actually a funny one just away from Sacramento and Reno. It's the name's escaping me. I'll think of it in a second though. But one time I was there and they had 24 beers on tap, and it was 23 IPAs and one pale ale.
That's insane, man.
Yeah. So it's like you have these hazy IPAs, and some of them aren't. There's no description. It's just a name. It's like you have 7 hazy IPAs. How am I supposed to like choose one? It's like
That's insane, man.
yeah, it is nuts. It's nuts.
How can you have that many people who are into like the same exact thing? I guess it's a big city, I guess.
Yeah. But still, the fact that they don't list the hops or anything, because even if you are a beer nerd, you're just basically going on like Hazy Comet, Pillow Extreme. Like, how am I supposed to even choose? Like, even as a beer nerd, like I've been to White Labs before.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll brew the same exact recipe, but just pitch a different yeast. So it's super interesting because you can get a flight of 4 beers, but it's the same exact porter, but with like a different yeast strain. So you can nerd out. Which is fun if
That's
you
cool, yeah.
try like a smash beer or two. You can be like, all right, this is exactly what a Sabro hop is. Like, but yeah, when you don't list anything, it's just like, all right, I guess I'm just choosing the cool name.
That's
Like,
so weird.
Goofy's Pillow.
I think that would be just boring as a brewer to just make the same beer. I mean, the same style only, you know?
Yeah.
Unless you got to be just crazy about hops.
Yeah,
I love hops too, but like,
they're good,
I
but
need a variety.
it's nice to, nice to have a variety. All right, last one. My favorite style of beer is the Imperial Stout, right?
Yep. Yeah, it was supposed to be like a 12 or 13% stout we made for one of the grocery stores because he had some. The guy who works at a grocery store is a manager, but he's a huge craft beer and a bourbon guy.
Yeah.
So he got a special weeded bourbon barrel, and he wanted us to make a beer out of it. But ended up being, instead of 13%, it was like 10.5.
Okay.
It just didn't finish. You know, every once in a while the yeast doesn't finish, so it has a really nice body.
It smells. This is how I know I'm gonna love the beer because I can just sit and smell it. Probably smell it for like 5 minutes and still get like my enjoyment just by doing that. It was like the vanilla from the bourbon I'm getting.
I think we use real vanilla beans in it.
There's vanilla beans in it too?
Yeah, but you might not know because it's one of those barrel characters, you know.
Oh yeah, it's got the body. There is a sweetness there.
Yeah, it's a couple years old.
Roastiness. Yeah, that's on point.
It'd be great with ice cream.
Yeah.
Vanilla bean ice cream would be really good.
Yeah. So what is the deal with curdling? Is that an issue with the beer?
I've never seen it.
I feel like I've heard of it, and then I don't know. I was at Sierra Nevada once, and they were just like cranking out the beer floats.
Really?
And they were delicious, and I was like, oh, there's no issue
with
here.
stout and stuff?
Yeah, they're narwhal stout, and I was like, oh, this is good.
I don't know. I think maybe if it was like a sour or something, the acidity. I mean, it's more, darker beers are a little bit more high in acid than lighter beers, I think. But it actually should be about the same. Because the pH always kind of balances during the fermentation. About the same mark, but.
Yeah, that is delicious.
I'm glad you like it.
That was really good.
We didn't bottle it, we canned it. It took a very long time to sell it. Because we've tried every sort of packaging format possible, and people don't want the 12-ounce cans.
They don't want
singles. The singles. We're just selling them as singles. It's like
with stouts, I don't know if it's an aesthetic thing or just like a tradition thing, but I feel like the Bomber wax cap is the ultimate.
Around here, it's like 12-ounce or 16-ounce.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bottle or can that they?
Bottle.
Yeah.
It is bottle.
You wax cap it or?
Used to.
Yeah.
But the return on the investment of all the time is we've just noticed it not being a big thing anymore. So we don't do very many of them anymore. It's very couple batches a year. Used to be like 3 or 4.
Gotcha.
They just don't sell like they did.
Yeah.
It's trends.
Yeah. I feel like it is mostly an aesthetic thing. It's a pain in the ass to like.
My wife burned her arms doing it and burned the hair on her arms. And it's dangerous, man.
No more waxing.
Yeah. Yeah, dealing with that stuff is treacherous.
Yeah. That's delicious, Do you get to making more stouts in the winter? A lot of breweries do, or?
Yeah, we do. They still don't, they just don't move real quick. We have a lot. In Sioux City, there's a pretty big stout fan base that likes stouts, but they go for the they go for the high alc. If I make a 6% or I make a 10 or 12%, they'll go to that.
Oh, okay.
More, you know.
Yeah.
But
that
it
makes
kind of
sense.
varies, you know. I wish people drink more of the 4 to 6 around here because they're a lot easier to make and
Yeah.
you can drink a few of them, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Still have the same
But
good time.
yeah, it's a good time either way. But yeah, you can't beat those thick stouts in the winter. Or in the summer, like you.
Yeah.
I haven't had one. I haven't had one in a long time. I should bring one home tonight.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
It's a good night for it.
Yep.
To me, it's always a good night
Our
for
kids
a
are
big
with
old
their
stout.
parents.
Oh, there you go. Bring one home.
Yep. Go to bed at 8 o'clock. That's the plan.
Heck yeah. Well, thanks for sharing all these beers with me.
you're welcome.
Are there any travel plans or beer plans or anything you're excited about you want to talk about before we wrap up?
Yes, there are.
Yeah? What do you got?
Next week, my parents, it's their 50th anniversary. It already was their 50th, but we're going to
50th anniversary.
50, man,
Congrats
yeah.
to them.
75. Yeah, they're probably here pretty soon. But anyway, they're going to. My brother lives in Seattle, so he's a huge craft beer guy. I only see him once a year, but we're gonna go to Portland.
Okay.
I think the last time we visited him, we went to Portland also. We went to Deschutes, which isn't a small brewery. It's a huge, obviously, it's a huge brewery, but
Yeah.
that was kind of a pretty cool experience. And then we'll try some breweries there for sure. It's more about the kids. Our kids have never been on an airplane before, so it's their first trip.
Cool.
Traveling really far away, but we'll make sure to try some good beer. And
You got some breweries on the list already, or?
My wife probably is like, nope, this is not your anniversary trip. It's your parents. So,
But I mean, you're gonna go to 1 or 12 breweries.
if you don't, we'll make sure to grab some packaged beer to bring back to we're staying on the beach-ish area, so it's like a VRBO.
Okay.
But yeah, hopefully at least one.
Yeah.
But no, I don't.
You're gonna
have
be
a
in
bucket
Portland, or
list.
you're gonna be on the coast?
We're flying into Portland, but we'll be on the coast.
Okay.
So we won't be able to really hang out in Portland, unfortunately.
I gotcha. If I could recommend one brewery and they have multiple locations in Portland, it's Breakside.
Big side.
Yeah. And they make the best stouts, I think, on the planet. They make the best stouts. Like, they do a lot of blending.
Do they?
So they'll brew a bunch of like smoky stouts, a bunch of chocolate stouts, a bunch of coffee stouts, and then they'll sit around in a panel and sort of blend and just like make the perfect beers. They're insane. And then when COVID hit, they're just
My
like,
brother mentioned Breakside. I'm pretty
they're
sure.
like, we have
My
nothing
brother
better to
likes
do.
Big stout, big beers too.
Yeah, if they're not the best, they're the top 5 in the world for sure.
Interesting.
They're really good. And on the coast, you'll have Rogue and other good. Yeah.
They do some IPAs and whatnot, Rogue?
Rogue does everything.
Everything?
Yeah, they're in Newport, but wherever you are on the coast, you probably won't be too far from them. But if I could give you one recommendation, if it just happens, Breakside, because they have at least a few locations within Portland.
Okay. I'll
So-
text my brother
Yeah.
and ask him if he knows where we can get some Breakside.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing all the beers, and probably
you're
try
welcome.
a few more while we're here.
I'll go pour you
Do
a
a
little
little
bit of it's a dry hop. That's one of my favorite styles, the dry hop Pilsner. Really made with all the local breweries, called First Ride for the 50th.
Oh, nice.
It's your first ride on right century.
Yeah.
I'll pour you a little bit.
Cool.
So you can taste it.
Sweet. Well, thanks for doing this, man.